Alright, this is an SAT question dealing with distance and weighted average. And the question reads, a car traveled 10 miles at an average speed of 20 miles per hour and then traveled the next 10 miles at an average speed of 40 miles per hour. What was the average speed in miles per hour of the car for the 20 miles? It's very tempting just to take the two rates that they give you, 20 miles per hour and 40 miles per hour, and say that the average speed was the average of 20 and 40, which is 30. But that's incorrect. And if you stop and think about this for a second before we get into the formulas, the reason that it's not correct is at 20 miles per hour, you're traveling for a longer period of time than you are at 40 miles per hour, with the assumption here that you're traveling the same distance. So the average speed would be weighted a little bit more heavily towards 20 miles an hour than it would be 40. Okay, so 30 is definitely not correct. It's something less than 30. Okay, how would we actually find it? Well, let's find out how much time was spent traveling at 20 miles per hour. And over here to the side, I've written down the distance formula, which is distance equals rate times time. And then I've solved it for the rate and solved it for the time. So there's three different ways to write that relationship. All right, so we wanted to find out how much time was spent traveling at 20 miles per hour. So T1, I'll say, was 10 miles divided by 20 miles per hour. So at that first rate, we traveled for half an hour. Okay. Let's do the same thing now for the second scenario. I'll call that one T2. We traveled 10 miles once again, but our rate this time was 40 miles per hour. So at the faster speed, we were traveling only for 1/4 of an hour. Alright, now, if I want to find the average speed over 20 miles per hour, okay, keyword there is I want to find speed, right? I want to solve for the rate. I'm going to use distance divided by time. Now let's see. The distance that we traveled for the entire trip was 20 miles, and the time we traveled, well, that was half an hour plus that 1/4 of an hour. So the rate would equal 20 divided by, if you get a common denominator here, that would become 3/4 when you add the fractions. So that's 20 over 1 times 4/3, which is 80 over 3, or if you go to a decimal, that's 26.6 repeating. And that's the answer.